The natural beauty of Tennessee is the hook that some fishers say lures them to our mountain streams. There is also a desire to attempt what some would call the most artistic form of fishing. In Flag Pond, Tennessee, fly fishing is part of the culture. And at Rocky Fork State Park, they try to break it all down in simple terms that anyone can understand. They like to call it Fly Fishing 101.
Rocky Fork State Park is premier trout fishing destination, and to highlight this excellent trout fishing that we have here, we're doing an introduction program to bring people into the sport. A kind of get your feet wet, pun intended, program, in case people are intimidated with all the gear, terminology, knots, 101 fly fishing to help you learn the ropes.
I've really been wanting to get into fly fishing for a long time now, and I've been wanting to have this experience to be able to catch a fish with a fly. I've always wanted to do that. Fishing is one of my favorite hobbies.
I've had 5-year-olds and I've had 85-year-olds come out. It's anybody who wants to learn fly fishing. We'll mosey out to Rocky Fork and we'll get a rod in their hand and get them in the creek.
My dad actually taught me here at Rocky Fork probably when I was like 6 or 7 years old. When I was younger, I used to tie like my dad's old like fishing line to a stick and, you know, cast it when I didn't have a fly rod of my own, and it worked just fine.
So when it comes down to it, a fly rod isn't much different than any other fishing rod. I mean, it's not even that much different than a cane pole or anything anybody's used for fishing for probably millenniums. The difference comes down to the reel. So this is fly rod, fly reel, and the line. This is where it gets different than other types of modern fishing. Your fly goes on the end. It attaches to your tippet. This is fly line, leader. Put them together. Loop them around your fingers. Make a loop, like that. And then 1 time through the hole, 2 times through the hole. All right, everybody feel confident? Pretty easy knot, right? It's a lot easier than even tying your shoes. So wrap it around this line 3 times. Just almost like if you twist it. It doesn't need to go through any hole or anything yet. 1, 2, 3. Now, you see I made a hole close to your fly? Take the leading end of your tippet through the hole, and that makes another hole here. Bring it through, pull it tight on itself, and then cinch it down.
That's the clinch knot. A lot of fishermen use it. It's the knot I use most of the time. If you learn that knot, you can get away with pretty much anything. You can tie any fly to any hook, whatever you want.
Well, we brought the family up here, and Chase was registered to fly fish, and he's gotten to that age where he's a teenager, and I'm wanting to let him try some things out on his own. I enjoy fishing, but I don't have the same luck he does. He's a lot better at it, so I just let him enjoy that, and I just watch a lot of the times.
The first cast I'm going to go over with you is the one that you're probably going to use the most here in Rocky Fork, and it's called the roll cast. This cast basically involves holding your rod up until you form basically like a D behind you, and then you just shoot the rod forward. Some of y'all might want to slow down just a little bit. Your rod and your line does all the work pretty much, and then try to practice that 10 and 2. Like, don't let your rod go any further than what it is, like that.
Fly fishing is an art, and there's a beauty to it that's not replicated in any other fishing.
It looks very graceful. It looks so relaxing, and in my opinion, you do more with your hands than normal bass or bluegill fishing, what have you, and it's a lot more relaxing because you're always doing something and you're not just sitting there waiting.
Oh, well, I think we got our first one. So he's just a little shiner. He's not a trout. Still, that's a good little fish. I think the secret with fly fishing is what I think the secret with everything in life is just patience. He's had a few bites in this one area, so he's just been persistent. He's been a lot more persistent than most people. Usually they get a few bites, don't catch it, they'll move on. But he stuck with it, and I mean, it paid off. He got it. It was a shiner, but I mean, it's still a fish. So I think it's the only one we've got today, so it's well worthwhile.
I'd gotten several bites, but I hadn't gotten one yet, and I was very determined to get one. That was the first fish I've ever caught on a fly rod, just doing the whole fly fishing thing, first fish on that. And even if it was just a small shiner, it was still a good experience, and I'm very glad that that happened.
As long as you're out here having a good time, that's really all that it matters. A fish is just an added bonus. It is what you're here to do, but it's always a nice surprise.
I just love seeing how he keeps growing in different areas of getting to enjoy the adventure of outdoor life. Him getting to learn how to fly fish is just very cool. It's an area he's not got to try yet, and just coming out here and grabbing one the first day is just awesome.
I'm very blessed that that happened to me today.
It's about the journey, and I mean that really. I don't mean it like, you're not gonna catch a fish today. It's about the journey, but it really is. It's about getting out in the creek, having fun on the water, and if you catch a fish, awesome. If you don't catch a fish, at least you got to come out to Flag Pond in Rocky Fork to do some fly fishing.
Tennessee's Wild Side has been a presentation of the Jackson Foundation, educating viewers about wildlife, natural resources, and opportunities for outdoor adventure, with support from the Tennessee Department of Agriculture, promoting wise uses of Tennessee's agricultural and forest resources to develop economic opportunities and ensure safe and dependable food, fuel, and fiber for all citizens. And from Tennessee State Parks, where you can camp by the riverside, retreat to the mountains, and escape the busyness of life. From Memphis to Kingsport, you'll find the perfect adventure in Tennessee State Parks. Wild Side is produced in association with Rockwater TV.